All right, thanks for tuning in on today. I hope that each and every one of you are doing very, very well on today. All right, guys, so I have some excellent, wonderful, fantastic news coming out of the country of Ghana, West Africa. So I hope that you guys are ready for it, and hopefully it will benefit you even if it doesn't directly apply to you. And I'll explain that. In fact, I know it will benefit some of you even though it doesn't directly apply to you. All right. So that's what this is all about, guys. When I bring to you information about opportunities for citizenship in other countries, even if you don't want to go to that country, we got to see things from a broader perspective. All right. See the big picture and see how we can connect these dots. All right. So I'll talk about that later. But out of Ghana, what's coming forth from the current president, Akufo-Addo, a part of an executive order that he issued on December 18th. All right. So if you haven't heard, Ghana has approved visa-free entry to Ghana for all African nationals. All right. All African nationals. So what this essentially means is that every African on the continent of Africa, he has approved visa-free entry. All right. Now I'm going to give you both sides of the coin. All right. All sides of the coin, even around the perimeter. All right. Because there are some people who are very, very happy about this, and then there are others who are not, and they raise some valid points. Okay. And so this is why it's important for the diaspora to get involved. This is why the governments need to engage the diaspora who are experienced in other lands, who may be far more advanced in technology and systems that have been implemented to make this all work for the betterment of the countries that are implementing these policies and for those who are coming to those countries. All right. So just to let you know, President Nana Akufo-Addo, not President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has approved visa-free entry to Ghana for all African nationals. He granted an executive approval on Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. Ghana will join Rwanda, Seychelles, the Gambia, and Benin as the only African countries offering visa-free entry to all African passport holders. All right. And so this will take place starting on January 6th. All right. So this will be implemented on January 6th. 2025, all African nationals can enter Ghana without a visa. All right. So this is a big step towards Pan-Africanism, right? So we're going to give him his props for that. All right. It's a great initiative. It opens the door for economic advancement. It opens the door for easier access to countries so that people can, research and see what opportunities lie in those countries for them, so that they can make Africa stronger economically, bridge the gaps, do away with some stereotypes. Sometimes you get rid of stereotypes by just visiting other places, right? And so it's good that this is going to make it easier and more affordable. Right now, travel on the continent is very, very expensive between African nations. In any way that we can reduce the cost, this would be greatly appreciated. Now, so we see the positive side of this, but we also have to look at the things that can work in a way, and I don't like to use positive and negative because sometimes that can be subjective. We see the opportunities for advancement for the continent, but we also have to consider that this could also open the door for people who do not have the best interests of the nation at heart. Okay, and this is what this writer is talking about. He says, and what has been hailed by some as a bold step toward Pan-African unity, President Akufo-Addo has approved visa-free entry for all African nationals into Ghana, a policy set to take effect on January 6, 2025. While the policy is a nod to the African Union's Agenda 2063 vision of a united and borderless Africa, it raises a fundamental question. Why now? After years of controversial governance that many believe has left Ghana in shambles, is this decision a genuine Pan-Africanist gesture? Is it a desperate attempt to repair a tarnished tarnished legacy, or perhaps an attempt to sabotage the next government. All right. And then it goes on to say throughout his presidency, Nana Akufo-Addo has faced widespread criticism for his alignment with Western interests, often earning him the unflattering title of a puppet of the West. His government has been accused of prioritizing foreign directives over the interest of Ghanaians. This sudden effort to embrace Pan-African ideals feels contradictory to his track record, leaving many to speculate about his true intentions. So, in other words, some people favor this initiative, and others think it's a desperate move to, one, to write himself in the history books, two, to perhaps sabotage the incoming president elect, President Mahama, all right, by creating a borderless Ghana, let's just say, meaning that those from any country can come in. They think it's an attempt to cause problems in the country, to bring in people who do not mean well, to perhaps even bring about terrorist acts, to bring in supporters, as someone says, of or who are anti-supporters of Burkina Faso by giving them access to the border between Ghana and Burkina by entering in through Ghana. And so they think that this is a move by the current president, Nana Akufo-Addo, to actually sabotage Mahama by causing chaos in Ghana. Others also believe that it will put a greater strain on the infrastructure in Ghana, that housing would also be a greater issue, reducing the number of available housing, prices going up, and also xenophobia, which xenophobia does exist in Ghana, all right? And especially if you are someone who looks like a Nigerian or looks like you can be a Nigerian, has features of a Nigerian, you will find that you will experience xenophobia. Yes, you will. All right, and many of us from the diaspora favor Nigerians. All right, and so as far as looks, okay, we look like them when I say favor. Okay, all right, we have a lot of features with body types. Nigerians sometimes, not all, but tend to be bigger, tend to be taller, and depending on which tribe that they're from, some of them are many of them are lighter in color. And so if you are seen as a Nigerian, I can't tell you how many times we have been discriminated against because we have been seen as Nigerians, and I'll share that. I've already done videos, I just haven't uploaded them. Okay, and not only, I mean, just in everyday life. So xenophobia is an issue, and they're concerned that Ghana may become like South Africa when South Africa opened their borders to others, and how many Africans face discrimination, attacks, and xenophobic attacks as well, and how they believe that, you know, the job market for South Africans was threatened, and just so many different things. Okay, and so this is the other side of the coin and the perimeter that's going on concerning this issue. And so this person says that this needs to be repealed, this needs to be overturned, because that Ghana is not ready for it. All right, so my opinion is that I understand his points, and I believe that many of his points are valid. And this is the problem with I'm for the open border, but I am not for the open border without some kind of oversight. And even if it wasn't a borderless, even if it wasn't visa free, let me just say the benefits. If you are a member of the diaspora and you hold a passport, say from the Gambia, all right, you have dual citizenship in the Gambia. Now you will also benefit from this. Well, you can come in as a member of ECOWAS. So let me get a country that's not a member of ECOWAS. Let's just say Burundi, all right? Okay, and so if you hold a Burundi passport, you can now, as a member of the diaspora, you can now enter into Ghana as well without a visa, because even though you're a member of diaspora, you have dual citizenship in Burundi, you will also benefit from this. Okay, and so we have to think on a broader perspective. Okay, so even though it's an initiative that's for persons who are African nationals from various African countries. If you hold dual citizenship as a member of the diaspora from a country such as Burundi, Kenya, so on and so forth, who are not members of ECOWAS, then you can also enter in without a visa as well. Okay, but now let's get back to the issue of, you know, will this be a good initiative? I think it's a good initiative. However, I do not believe in a borderless Africa without criminal background checks. I think that we need to employ, and the governments of Africa needs to start implementing databases, yes, databases to protect Africa. You see, the law is for the lawless. If you're not a lawless person, you're not going to be afraid of the law. I do not believe in intrusive policies. I do not believe I need to give you my blood to come into your country and all this other stuff. The U.S. dropped that policy years ago, okay? But I do believe that we need to have a situation where if someone comes into your country, that these systems will be able to link into their country's database to see if this person is wanted anywhere, you know, for any crime, and they're not just escaping their country and then coming into your country. We need to have those networks in place. We need to have those systems in place so that we don't have criminals, murderers, robbers, you know, people hopping from country to country now that we have a borderless Africa, all right, or a borderless Ghana and the other countries who have implemented this policy. Okay, so yes, it's a welcome policy, but we need to have guidelines to ensure the protection of the citizens of Ghana and other countries. We need to make sure that we don't have terrorists moving from place to place. At the same time, we need to make sure that we're not implementing some of the things in the West where they're putting people on lists, you know, just because they have a different religious view or because they are, you know, not pleased with some of the policies that the country is implementing. We shouldn't put them on a list and have them categorized as terrorists when they're not terrorists. So there needs to be a balance between all of this. So it's a welcome policy, but I do believe that the writer here brings up some very valid points. And is Ghana ready? Well, is Africa ready? And that's going to require them implementing systems to ensure that the movement on the continent is not going to be detrimental to the nations where these people are going to. That's my take on it. And I'd be interested in hearing yours. And thank you so much for tuning in. And you guys have a wonderful day. Shalom.